Like I literally told her within 36 hours, I was like, look, this is gonna sound like a lot and I'm sorry because I know it's weird, but I know I'm supposed to marry you.
The idea that you guys see this behavior, you don't think it's the biggest red flag is crazy to me. And the fact that you counsel people and you don't think this is strange is also crazy to me.
Now, this is insane. Telling someone you love them within 3 days of meeting them, not even 3 days. He said 36 hours, right? That's a day and a half. Oh, that's like he met her, he f***ed her, they woke up the next day, got breakfast. He's like, I love you. I'm going to marry you. And then she's like, okay. #1 women's life coach exposed after cheating scandal, WizardLiz. Video by Abba and Preach. Now, one of my viewers asked me to react to this, and so feel free to ask me to react to things in the comment section down below. In fact, that's my favorite way to find new reactions. One of my favorite ways. Anyway, Abba and Preach, they respond to this WizardLiz situation, and somebody wanted me in particular to weigh in on it because, as many of you know, I have a spiritual channel. You can go ahead and check it out. And on that channel, we talk about the law of assumption, the law of attraction, manifestation, all these things. I guess this WizardLiz chick apparently operates within the same paradigm. Let's go ahead and check this out.
TheWizardLiz.
TheWizardLiz got cheated on, 4 months pregnant.
Oh my God! I hate men.
TheWizardLiz, out of all people.
Mother Liz was cheated on.
I repeat, TheWizardLiz.
Liz is intelligent, beautiful.
This bum single-handedly created millions of more female villains.
And then I was thinking to myself, why is it that everyone is always obsessed with me?
WizardLiz is considered probably the biggest female life coach. She offers a lot of advice.
I know that you guys need my
It's
help.
crazy. I've never heard of this chick. Well, I guess I'm not a chick, so I guess it's not that crazy.
That's why I'm here. You have to create another version of yourself. 2023 is about to come and we are gonna get confident right now, right here. When you find the clown shoes, I want you to take them and put them on because that's what you are. That's literally what you are. You're just a clown. Stop doubting yourself. I'm proud of you. Realize that nobody cares if you're lazy. Listen, my love.
You know, it's crazy. Abba and Preach are playing this compilation of a bunch of clips taken out of context. And I would guarantee you at least 80% of these clips, if you just isolate what she says, they wouldn't disagree with it. Now, I'm not defending this bitch. I do not know this chick at all. I don't know what she teaches or anything of that sort. But would Abba and Preach have a problem with you looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I'm proud of you? You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe in yourself, then why should anybody believe in yourself or believe in you? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I'm sure we're going to get into the weird shit soon.
Realize that nobody cares if you're lazy.
Like, would Abba disagree with that? Nobody cares if you're lazy? No, I'm sure he wouldn't. The only person who should be invested in how hard you work is you.
Listen, my love.
And maybe if people depend on you, but
I'm sick and tired of you. Are you not tired of being overlooked? Are you not tired of walking somewhere and literally no one looks at you because you are just plain? You're just average. You're one of the average people. I will in this video show you how to stop being ugly. I'm not saying any of you are ugly. I'm just saying stop being ugly.
She got caught up in a scandal because she met a man. They got engaged.
Within?
I think it was like 7 months. And she was 4 months pregnant in this relationship. And she got
quick.
cheated on. Being
Pretty
super
fast.
fair. They'd met 4 years prior, but both of them started dating other people, so they stopped talking.
I don't care.
And then, yeah.
I don't care. It's 7 months.
Okay. Ordinarily, she's just a 26-year-old who made a really dumb fucking decision. A lot of people make those decisions. And normally, if someone's going through having just been cheated on, you would just think, go grieve, go spend your time, figure your life out, and then move afterwards. The issue is that she's a life coach who speaks like she has the answers.
Yeah.
She speaks with a certain level of hubris where she talks to young women and says, this is how you get what you want. This is how you get the man that you want, the marriage that you want, the life that you want.
You know what's ironic? Abba and Preach literally just dropped a video where Abba had to walk back some shit he said about Vyvanse. I'm on Adderall, right? I got diagnosed with ADHD several months ago. It completely changed my life. It was a huge addition to my life regimen, let's put it like that. And I see now that there are a lot of things coming all the way from my childhood that would have gone a lot differently if this situation, this condition had been diagnosed earlier. Anyway, ABBA has this video where he's shitting on Vyvanse and shitting on Adderall and how people discover that they have ADHD or ADD, and then they get on these medications and it completely changes their lives. And they will use that as a way of explaining some of their erratic, irrational, impulsive behaviors from their past, and saying, look, man, I got diagnosed with ADD. I got on medication. I'm a different person now. And he was completely shitting on it like this nigga's a fucking doctor, like he knows everything. And then he finds out he got ADD and then has a whole fucking podcast walking this shit back. And essentially now he's an evangelist for Vyvanse and Adderall and go talk to your doctor. And so why do I say that? Not to shit on ABBA, but nigga, we all do this. Every single person on YouTube does this. In fact, you might say every single person on the planet does this, because none of us believes that we're walking around believing lies. Everything we believe, we all believe that it's the truth. And so when you believe something is the truth, you're going to speak to that truth with a sense of confidence, especially if that truth is grounded in what you perceive to be your life experiences. Now, of course, yeah, if you're going to get on the internet and talk about quantum physics and you fucking didn't even pass algebra, if you're going to get on the internet and try and speak to any great degree, with any great degree of authority on mechanics, right? Being a mechanic and you can't fucking change the oil in your car, yeah, you got a problem. But when it's just you giving your perspective on life, especially when it's that perspective is based off of your lived experience, you're gonna speak with confidence, bro. Everybody does it.
Okay, so you clicked on this video because you want to be confident. Do you want to walk into any meeting, any room with all eyes on you? Do you want to attract that partner that you desire because your confidence radiates and they cannot do anything but be near you? Do you want to walk into every single room and have all eyes on you, even if you're just in your pajamas, because that's the energy you radiate? Well, honey, keep watching, because I will show you in this video how to get
cheated on 4 months pregnant while engaged.
And she speaks with a tremendous amount of confidence, and she influences all these people. And this is another case of the blind leading the blind. You don't wait any time before getting married. You get married incredibly young. You get married to somebody who's also a big influencer. If you look at any statistical number for people who get married in this age group, for people get married this quickly, the divorce rate is incredibly high.
Again, just to show you a little bit of the irony here. So ABBA is like, oh, people who get married around that age range, which she was 26. I was 27 when I got married. I'm still married, happily married. Our marriage has never been better, actually. We have 3 beautiful children. I'm madly in love with my wife, and things are great. But he's like, oh, the divorce rate for people who get married in that age range is astronomically high. Bro, she got married at 26. According to ChatGPT here, right? People who get married around that age range, there's a 25% divorce rate. So 1 in 4 marriages fail. And then if she had waited until she was in her early 30s, which I imagine ABBA wouldn't say is an insanely young range to get married in. Why do I say that? Because ABBA is well aware that women start to move into the high-risk pregnancy range around their late 30s. And so if a woman wants more than 2 kids, you know, she better get to work. But now she can't even space them out. So it really is in a woman's best interest to get married, probably reasonably in her late 20s. So that way, if she wants to have 2 to 4 kids and not have to have them back to back to back to back, my wife has had our 3 kids back to back to back. I'm telling you, bro, that is not the fucking move. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but it's such a taxing demand to put on a woman's body. And then, of course, she has to take care of the kids after they're born. But as you see here, it drops from 25% to 20%. So it goes from 1 in 4 to 1 in 5, which, you know, 5%, I suppose, is significant. But is it that big a deal? I don't think so. I don't think so. And yeah, so again, it just kind of feels like cherry picking. Oh, this was the video where Abbo's literally like, I was wrong. Speaking overconfidently about some shit he don't know nothing about, right? It's just funny. It's just ironic, man. But let's go.
I told this woman that I loved her within 36 hours of knowing her.
Now that's fucking weird. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's fucking weird. So I'm not defending this bitch, bro. I don't know her. I'm not co-signing her. I'm just saying we got to be careful not to throw the baby out with the bathwater just because you can find one example of one fucking stupid person.
This mindset in the Western world is a sickness. It is deviant, and we do not want it. This is why I'm going to return to Africa. We are going to enjoy the good fruit. Yeah, this is your supreme dating coach.
I swear, guys, when I met Landon, immediately I thought I would want a family with this guy. And he also told me immediately when we hanged out in Santorini, I knew you were going to be my wife. He's like, I became so protective over you already because I knew this is my wife immediately when I saw you.
And I literally told her within 36 hours, I was like, look, this is going to sound like a lot and I'm sorry because I know it's weird, but I know I'm supposed to marry you.
The idea that you guys see this behavior, you don't think it's the biggest red flag is crazy to me. And the fact that you counsel people and you don't think this is strange is also crazy to me.
Now, this is insane. Telling someone you love them within 3 days of meeting them. Not even 3 days. He said 36 hours, right? That's a day and a half. Oh, fuck that. That's like he met her, he fucked her. They woke up the next day, got breakfast. He's like, I love you. I'm going to marry you. And then she's like, okay. Yeah. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
Go ahead.
And the thing that happened is that if you look at her face, she's bragging. It doesn't matter how you look. You could be the most beautiful person in the world. When I said earlier, like months ago, that we throw certain words too much, and love is one of them.
Yep.
I love this, I love that. Oh my God, I love your shoes. I love the way you walk. I love the way you dress. There's no nuance. It's love. There is a difference between passion, infatuation, likeness, and love. All of those words are not love. Love is strong. Don't fucking throw that shit everywhere.
Him saying, I knew I was supposed to marry you is even crazier statement. How could you do that without knowing somebody? How could you just say, I know I'm supposed to be with you? Who is the you? What does you mean in this situation? How do you even know what you is?
Okay, Jordan Peterson.
Thank you. I like that.
Do you believe in God? What do you mean do? What do you mean you? What do you mean believe? And what do you mean God?
But it's a serious question.
Jordan Peterson, that guy's a fucking psychopath.
Like when someone says, I'm supposed to marry you, don't know me. How could you say that?
Who's you? But yeah, no, but I was kidding, but it's a valid fucking question. I don't know you.
Facts. And I'll also say, the worst part about all this is you guys are bringing a child into this world. It's one thing if you just want to engage in dumb fucking love. That's one thing. Y'all bringing a kid into this fucking weird dynamic of yours. So yeah, you deserve extra amount of criticism. So let's go listen to some of her advice of how to receive princess treatment.
If you've already told him that your exes were so bad and they mistreated you, don't worry. What you can do now is you make your man believe that either your friend, your sister, I don't know, some female in that you know is getting treated so well by her boyfriend, by her partner, by her husband. You should say like, oh my God, my friend, she literally like...
Now, this is not spirituality. This is not manifestation. This is not law of attraction, law of assumption. It's not... This is not following any of the metaphysical practices that have been taught and practiced forever. You know, in the Quran, it talks about the fact that Allah will not change a person's condition until they change what is within them. In the Bible, it is taught that anything you ask for in prayer, if you believe that you have already received it, it will be yours. So these concepts are not new age. They're not, they're as old, they're older even, because if you look to the Hermetic spiritual teachings of the ancient Egyptians, they also taught this. They taught that the universe is mental, that the entire world is a projection of your mind. And so these are not new concepts at all. They're taught in essentially every major religion, although a lot of the times it gets pushed to the back because there are other things that get prioritized within organized religion besides the empowerment of the people that follow it. However, not to go off on too much of a tangent, this, what she's talking about here, is not in alignment with any of that. In the Bible, Jesus says, be anxious for nothing. Well, nothing screams being anxious for something like actively trying to deceive and manipulate a person in order to get what it is that you desire. Absolutely fucking bullshit. Not at all following any of the metaphysical or spiritual principles in any of the major religions, or even just in straight up law of attraction, law of assumption arenas, which is unfortunate.
She's always taking care of by her husband or her boyfriend. He always does everything for her. Oh, he just bought her this and that. See, how men are is competitive. They're very competitive. So if you tell a man that your friend is being taken care like this, then their competitive nature comes up and they're like, okay, this is what I'm competing with. Even if I mention to my man, like, your friend, she got these
terrible
perfumes
teaching,
and I love them, he literally buys them for me the next day. Like, it's a competitive nature that they have.
I'm gonna do an update on a quote that I said a long ass time ago. The quote was that if you lead with cheese, you're gonna end up with rats. The update is if you follow cheese, you're probably gonna end up in a trap.
That's a good line. It's a bar. It is a crazy thing to try to teach people how to lie to their partners just so that they can spend more money on them. It is a crazy thing to try to manipulate your partner by mentioning people that don't even exist who are being treated so financially well to try to get your partner to spend money on you. And just think, why are you engaging with advice or behavior that if your partner found out would make him upset? Do you think any man is glad to hear that women are listening to this kind of shit and learning how to manipulate them to spend more money? Do you not recognize how disrespectful it is to do this kind of stuff and learn this so you can manipulate the person you're supposed to arrest?
Manipulation.
Manipulation. Okay? Right? Do you think about it, ladies? I want you guys to put yourselves in our shoes. Imagine if men were taking advice from a podcast in order to learn how to manipulate you into doing the things that he wanted. Would you not feel betrayed by this kind of advice?
Manipulated.
Bro, like, I like nipple play, so you keep saying this shit, it's just like, stop putting weird things in my head.
Hey, yo.
Manipulation.
Okay. It's just...
It's crazy. No, but it is crazy.
It is so juvenile. And if I found out my partner was doing this, it would be grounds for me to break up with them personally.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. This is not at all living from the end. This is not at all manifestation. This is manipulation, as these guys have articulated 45 times.
So why would you think, as you're trying to be respected by your partner, it's good to listen and prop up this advice like it's great?
Welcome.
Guided money meditation. Oh shit.
I welcome
Fuck.
you to this guided money meditation with me. Before we start this meditation,
Right. Lock in.
I need you to realize that money is neither good or bad.
That's true.
It is you who controls what you can do with the money.
I mean, Abba, would you disagree with that? Money's neither good nor bad. I mean, I don't think you disagree with that. Don't get me, guys, I've already figured out this bitch don't know what she's talking about. She's just pretty and fucking puts like dream catchers, hangs that up on her rear view mirror and shit like that, and amassed a massive following probably. But That is true, though. Money is neither good nor bad. It's a tool. It's like electricity. You can use electricity and power a home and give it light and heating and air conditioning. And then you can also use that same electricity to trigger a detonator in a bomb that kills thousands of people. So similarly with money, you can use money to help people and you can use money to hurt yourself and hurt others. So it's true.
The more money, the more it amplifies who you are.
That's true.
Money is
they say money doesn't change you. It just makes you more of what you already are.
comfort. Money is a beautiful source that can help lots of people. I need you to realize that you deserve to live a good life filled with as much money as you desire. It is not.
Now, Abba writes, I don't know how I got rich without this, but I deserve more. Now, granted, I don't co-sign this money meditation shit at all. I think this also contradicts the principle of living from the end. You can look into that, the law of assumption. However, hey man, there are more than one paths to the top of the mountain. I do believe that there is a spiritual approach to amassing the things or acquiring the things that you have in your life. In fact, everything is acquired spiritually. Nothing, as the Bible says, a man cannot receive anything unless it comes from heaven. I'm paraphrasing. I'll put the verse up on the screen. So everything is achieved spiritually. It's just that most people achieve these things unconsciously. They are using spiritual mechanisms unconsciously. But this is not weird because you see this in other aspects of life all the time. For instance, you'll have one guy and this dude is watching a bunch of YouTube videos, how to get swole. You know what I'm saying? He's taking all these supplements and he has this very particular routine that's supposed to maximize muscle growth. And then he'll come across a dude who got bigger arms than him. And he's like, bro, what's your workout split? And he's like, workout split? What do you mean? Nigga, I fucking work construction. That's it. I don't go to the gym. Your arms are so big. It's like, I lift concrete bags for a living. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And then that dude, he might look at the guy that's doing all this fucking jumping through all these hoops in the gym and thinking to himself, why don't you just get a real job? You know, you don't need to do all this to be in shape. And so, yeah, I hear what Abba's saying, but it doesn't mean that working out in the gym is bullshit just because you can put on muscle working manual labor, right? Similarly, just because you aren't really aware of the spiritual components that were involved in you being able to get wealthy, it doesn't mean that just because somebody else might look into that and practice it and find it to be effective doesn't mean it's bullshit. It's just the Adderall shit all over again, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, but all right.
Bad to want money. Money is a way to a comfortable and easy life. A life we as humans naturally desire and deserve. Comfort is our human nature. I need you to realize we create our own reality. If you change your mindset, you will change your life.
That's true.
Once you demand and believe that you deserve comfort and abundance, you will start attracting it.
These niggas typing all kinds of gay shit. All right. Okay.
You deserve an easy and good life. You deserve to have anything you desire. You deserve to be able to afford whatever you want.
And everyone, my relationships, the guys would always worship the ground that I walk on, literally make sure that I'm always okay in every aspect of my life. And then I was thinking to myself, Why is it that everyone is always obsessed with me? My mom.
Of course he's gonna say I love you within 36 hours. Everybody is so obsessed with me.
Absolutely.
Why are you obsessed with me?
Yeah.
My mom would even say it, my sister would say it, they would be like, Liz, when people come into your life or get to know you, they are like parasites. They do not want
Nah, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up, man.
Yeah.
Just say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Oh,
Let's keep going.
They like stick onto you and they do not want to leave you at all, you know? And then I really started thinking about, okay, why is this? So I started to analyze my behavior. And I think I understand now the human psychology behind why they become obsessed with me.
Oh shit! She going into human psychology.
Yeah,
Let's
because
go.
she's educated.
Yes, let's go, doctor.
Yes.
Let's go. Tell us what you think.
I think it's scary because it can become dangerous as well, like stalkers and things like that. But in the same way, you can use this to your advantage. So in this video, I am gonna share with you why I think everyone becomes obsessed with me, so people can become obsessed with you.
Oh boy, dear Lord. Jesus Christ.
If that's
Oh man.
And this is just some highlights about some of the advice that she gives to
bless
people.
her heart.
I heard that you don't know how to get spoiled by a man. And I heard that some of you, and honestly, my heart breaks every time I think about this, are paying for a man. I know that you guys need my help. That's why I'm here. If you are already in a relationship and your partner, he didn't spoil you yet and you want him to start spoiling you, just tell him, like, I really would appreciate it if you gave me some money, like an allowance. And with my mom, her ex-husband, he knew if he worked or if he didn't work, she would still continue to provide and stay because of the children. I need women to understand that men will say they want good women, but good women never get rewarded. It's always like, oh, I want a day one girl. I want a girl that has been there from the beginning. But those women get literally later on cheated on.
Well, at least she got the bags.
What bag? You mean the bag that carries a baby? Just keep watching. Let's keep watching.
Oh yeah, I know that brand. It's called Placenta.
Hi guys, I want to share a manifestation technique that my therapist actually taught me. I am so grateful for my beauty. Can I please have more? I would like to have more. I write down.
Now that's true though. Rarely will you get more of something if you're not already grateful for what you have, right? You're not going to build a massive shoe collection if you're not already grateful for the shoes you have. Why? Because if you're not grateful for the shoes you have, you're not going to take care of them. And so you're going to be replacing shoes instead of building on top of what you already have. Somebody who doesn't appreciate the beauty that they do have physically isn't going to take care of their body. They're going to look at their body and see it as shit or average or below average and not think that it's worth keeping up with your grooming and working out and maximize, doing a skincare routine and hair care routine and all that. They'll be like, hey, I ain't no fucking model. This is some extra shit. But it's when you do take care of yourself, you build upon what you already have. And so, yeah, in order to get more of something in your life, you have to be grateful for that thing. It's really just focusing on it. Anything you pour your attention and energy into will grow. That's all gratitude is. Gratitude is intentionally pouring your attention and energy into things that you have in your life that you enjoy, that you see as positive and good. We know this works in the opposite way. When you focus on negativity, what happens? More negativity arises. This is a fact. This is how the universe works. Gratitude is an amazingly powerful way of receiving more in your life.
I am living in this country. My partner is this person. My partner spoils me and buys me everything I want. I am a successful YouTuber. I wrote everything that I wanted down as if it was happening right now. 1 year later, I'm living exactly the life that I wrote down.
Yes, cheated on and impregnated by a man who was supposed to be your fiance.
That's rough.
Glad that you wrote that down.
That's rough.
But even take a look at the character of Jesus in the Bible. Falsely accused, imprisoned, tortured, executed. Take a look at the prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He was murdered. Take a look at the apostle Paul, imprisoned, beaten. The point is, history is filled with spiritual leaders and people experiencing negative things in this life, including Jesus, who is supposed to literally be God. He's at the very least the Son of God, right? Equal to God and all that. And so I don't think that just because you can see, a bad thing happen to this chick. Now, we've already acknowledged that I don't think she has solid spiritual teachings. However, even if she did and this bad thing happened to her, that doesn't mean that the things that she was teaching were invalid, right? The things that these other spiritual leaders taught doesn't now become null and void because something bad happened to them. Yeah, you could make the criticism that it was unwise for her to rush into a relationship and get married after only knowing this person for 7 months and getting pregnant and all that. However, history is filled with people getting married much faster than that, much more quickly than that. Even to this day, I know people who got married in less than a year of knowing each other and are still married. And they got married in their 20s. Hopefully this is her humbling. I think that's also something consistent we see amongst people who are tuned into the spiritual. Every great spiritual leader has a great humbling experience where life just really fucking humbles them. Jesus was crucified. Muhammad, I believe, was persecuted. The prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The apostle Paul, he was persecuted, imprisoned. Every great spiritual leader throughout history, they have all had to experience a great humbling experience. And as the Bible puts it, right, by their suffering, they are perfected. If she really is a spiritual person, I think this is going to be a great opportunity for her to bounce back and learn from her mistakes and evolve. You feel me?
Don't think that those luxury things are what you should strive for, because at the end of the day, luxury items are just people that were very good at marketing a product. That's it. Luxury items are not special, and they also don't validate you. I think it's actually very insecure if like people only focus on having luxury items and showing off that they have it. Like,
let's go look at her Instagram. Let's just see how many brands we're gonna locate in regards to the pictures.
Chanel.
All right, let's keep going.
Well, we don't know what the code is.
Hey, listen, I'm sure all of these are brands, but you can kind of just look at it and you'll definitely be seeing, I don't know what that bag is.
Birkin.
Oh, okay, you know your brands. Oh, shit. Okay, you actually know your brands. I don't know what these outfits are either, because I'm pretty sure they are something.
Let me see.
My bad. Do your thing.
No, it's just, okay, but I want to see from the bottom. Birkin. The necklace is Louis Vuitton, the bracelet is Louis Vuitton, the bag is Birkin, Yves Saint Laurent.
Got you.
Softer than that. It's Birkin bags.
You know, like I'm scrolling through.
That's Chanel. That's Chanel. Red.
One?
Oh, but that is Baroque, Chanel. Chanel bags, different colors.
That's just the brands that you and I can identify. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of women who are going to scroll her Instagram and recognize 30 other brands that you and I don't necessarily
100%.
know.
men don't like women. Men like men.
Are men just evil?
I don't care how pretty you are. I don't care how smart you are. The second you become in proximity to a man, you are signing up to be humiliated.
But I remember like when you dropped me off at my hair salon, and this was in the beginning of our relationship, and the woman, she went like, oh my God. She came to me, she's like, your boyfriend is very handsome. And I was sitting there, I was like, really? And then she was like, yeah.
She literally told me we got lunch afterwards. I picked her up, we went and got lunch, and she's like, you won't believe it. I was like, what?
You won't believe it because you're ugly as fuck. You already know you're ugly as fuck, but you won't believe it.
That was weird.
Other people can't find you pretty. Other people than me. Can you believe that? Other people than me find you attractive. That's crazy, but hey, Good for you.
She was like,
Something crazy happened.
The craziest thing ever.
Nah, this chick.
Somebody just told me that you're handsome,
But
I realized that you're handsome now. I was like,
No, I know.
And Doobie sound like, oh, okay, bitch.
This isn't just a cheating scandal. This is a collective heartbreak. So many of us have been watching WizardLiz for years, not as fans, but as women who were healing right alongside her. She's been a big sister, a guide, a lifeline. She gave us strength when we were at our lowest. She taught us how to protect our energy, raise our standards, and believe that we were worthy of more. Okay? And these are just some of the videos of people reacting to this shit.
The comments.
No, there's videos.
Oh, videos. Oh, yeah.
And you see, but at the same time, even though I don't agree with her approach, and if you want to really understand my approach to spirituality, what I've learned from my religious journey into Christianity, my life experiences and all that, and how that has informed the way that I view the world and approach life from a metaphysical point of view, go ahead and check out my spiritual channel, link in the description. I think if you watch my videos, you will really be able to clearly see how I approach spirituality very differently than whatever the fuck this bitch is talking about, even though we might use some of the same words. Anyway, but what should be appreciated, though, or, you know, to her credit, look at this message that this woman left. Even if the shit that she was teaching I disagree with, and some of it might even be, you know what I'm saying, bullshit, she still helped people to heal. She still helped people to see themselves in a more positive light, to see themselves as more worthy than how they saw themselves before coming into contact with her. That's a net positive. That's a net positive, man.
How to protect our energy, reacting to this shit.
The comments.
No, there's videos.
Oh, videos. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm not
People are doing whole ass videos.
I did my research.
Oh my God.
There is no way, like, I'm so pissed off. Okay, this didn't happen to me, but I feel like I just got cheated on. There is no way that ratty ass looking Mickey Mouse bitch cheated on I repeat, the WizardLiz.
WizardLiz just posted that she was cheated on by her fiance Landon, while her now ex-fiance, TheWizardLiz, out of all people.
Liz is intelligent, beautiful.
How many times have you seen a man that looks this corny, this goofy, put a woman who looks like this in this goober's point of view? What else could he possibly get?
You are telling me Mother Liz was cheated on while she was 4 months pregnant, when she decided to actually show him online, tell the world that she's in love with him. He chose to have you seen her? She's so gorgeous, so confident.
Now, and also this shit right here also tells me a lot about her teachings, because I say everybody gets what they deserve. Everybody reaps what they sow. You know what I'm saying? And one of the biggest things I see people say in the comments, so what about children? What about children? Well, first and foremost, let's not forget that both the Bible and the Quran teach these concepts as well, that everyone reaps what they sow. But you know what they also teach is that the sins of the father will be suffered by the second, third, and fourth generation. Children are born into the circumstances of their parents. Children inherit the reality and the energetic frequency of their parents. And so when we see bad things happening to children, it's because of their parents. I'm not saying the parents intentionally wanted these bad things to happen to their children, but the parents were operating within a certain energetic frequency, which caused them to make certain decisions, which caused them to have certain outcomes in life. And then they brought a child into that reality where those outcomes are their reality. And so, of course, that would now be the shared reality of the children. But let's not pretend that a lot of children who suffer abuse, if they were born into different households by different parents, they would have never suffered that abuse. And so that's the reality. We see this concept also further reiterated in the Old Testament, the concept of the age of accountability. So when the Israelites, and again, I believe all of this shit is symbolic, metaphorical. I don't believe half of this shit actually happened literally, historically. It's for the sake of us to understand spiritual wisdom. But we see when the Israelites come out of Egypt, they perform some egregious sin. They worship an idol. And then God essentially commands that all the people who worship this golden calf be executed. But he says that the people under a certain age should be spared, even if they also partook in the worshiping of this idol. That's to communicate that, look, there is a responsibility. The responsibility of the outcomes of children fall upon parents up until a certain point where a human being is reasonably self-dependent and self-reliant and is making their own decisions based on their own beliefs. That is now the dominant factor in the outcomes of their life. And so that's the situation with children. I feel like I have to add that caveat because every time I say this shit, you reap what you sow. Everyone gets what they deserve. People run to babies that fucking get sick or abused or whatever. So that should clear that up. Anyway, this is a very elementary principle across all forms of spirituality, religions, and the esoteric. So I find that particularly strange that all of her fans are essentially dogpiling on the guy. Now, the guy is a piece of shit for doing what he did, but it just contradicts spirituality. The Bible again says all things work for the good of those who love God, essentially. And the esoteric interpretation of that is if you are in alignment spiritually with a certain reality, with a certain frequency, then anything that happens in your life, you have to trust that that is the universe moving you closer towards or producing within your life a result that is in alignment with your frequency. So let's say you're aligned with a spiritual frequency of peace and you're manifesting peace in your life, and then your significant other cheats on you. Does that then mean manifestation is bullshit? No. What that would mean is that that person cheating on you in the moment, yes, it seems very bad, but that person cheating on you is actually moving you closer to a life of peace. Why? Because maybe that person, you cannot attain the highest levels of peace possible while this person is still in your life. And this cheating episode is the thing that ends the relationship. Now, in the moment, especially if you're not a spiritual person or a conscious person, this could actually be the undoing of a lot of people. They become hyper fixated on the feelings of betrayal and rejection and those negative feelings, and it destroys them. But if you're a spiritual person and you understand that all things work for the good of those who love God, then you would trust that ultimately this is the universe conspiring to move you closer towards a state of peace. It just feels as if Abba and Preach are essentially saying, let's disqualify everything this woman ever teaches or ever taught because this bad thing happened to her. Well, then there's nobody. There isn't a wise man or woman that walks the earth, because who out there can say nothing bad has ever happened to them, despite considering themselves a wise person or being considered a wise person by other people?
So beautiful. Literally everything that you would want in a person, she has that. And this person was like, someone else too. What will actually convince them to stick to one? If that woman had to go through this, us mortals, us little peasants, how are we gonna survive?
That's how her fans been talking.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah.
You guys need to stop pedestalizing people.
Yes.
He's so ugly. How dare he cheat on her? And like, how could she be cheated on? Look how perfect she is. Do you guys think that?
Now that's fucking weird. That's bad.
Beautiful people are deserving of fidelity. Do you think that just because someone,
as the Bible says, don't be a respecter of persons. We're all equal. Nobody's above another person.
Interesting, they're the only ones who are deserving of fidelity? Here's the reality. Celebrities cheat on each other all the time.
And they're celebrities.
Why would you guys think these kinds of things? And I realize that for a lot of women, they actually genuinely think if they're attractive enough, that means that they're going to get fidelity for somebody. You understand that fidelity is a character trait. It's not something that's currency that you buy from somebody because you're hot enough. Someone is loyal because it's part of their values. It's not loyal because you're hot enough. If someone's going to cheat on you because you're ugly, they're going to cheat on you even if you're hot. Because cheating, these kinds of behaviors, it's about something that they got in themselves. That's what it is.
That's true.
So when I'm hearing these people talk about all this stuff, I'm like, what does him being attractive or not have anything to do with anything?
Well, he did the deed, so we have to insult him.
Right? Like, even women saying, like, she's perfect, look at her. She's referring to herself as a peasant.
If that woman had to go through this, us mortals, us little peasants, how are we going to survive?
Because of the person that she's watching. That is against every, oh, I'm a peasant because, oh my God, that person is so great. I could never.
Yeah, as Jesus said, if you want to be first, you should be last. And so if you find anybody pedestalizing themselves as a spiritual leader, that is a huge red flag. The Buddha also famously humbled himself to an insane degree. He was born a wealthy, rich prince, gave it all up, and went on to teach the spiritual. And so, yeah, you know, it's always a bad sign when you see the spiritual leader pedestalizing themselves as if they're better than anybody else or anything like that.
Being with a man, I've never had that. It comes to me very easily. I know a lot of women in my life that always try to look for a partner, try to look for love, and that's like that whole goal, and they never attract it. And they then ask me like, Liz, how come you attract it so easily, like whenever you want? And it's like, I don't have that desperation for it. Like, that's why it comes to me.
Listen, I think someone being a life coach at a very young age is probably one of the biggest red flags, because you just haven't had the chance to really live.
You didn't live. You didn't live.
And anybody who's a life coach at any age, in my opinion, is also a red flag. Because at the end of the day, as you get older, you just realize how much less you think you know. Watching her.
Again, what is a life coach, though? Abba and Preach, they essentially play the role of life coaches. They get on the internet and they tell you what, you know, they share what their wisdom is, their learned experiences, and they share experiences about their wisdom on shit that, at least for Abba, he's not married, he doesn't have kids, but he gives advice and his opinion all the time on relationships, marriage, you know, raising kids. And so, again, I just think that's a little bit ironic, a little bit hypocritical. Yeah, definitely. As I get older, I become wiser and my advice becomes better. I experience more things. But I wouldn't go so far as to say if you're a young person in your 20s that you shouldn't feel like you could get up on the internet and share what you've learned, because there's always going to be someone more wise than you, and there's always going to be someone who isn't as wise as you. And so there is nothing wrong with sharing the wisdom that you feel that you have received. What's important is that we all individually never pedestalize anybody, take everything with a grain of salt, use your own critical thinking skills, listen to your gut, listen to your intuition, don't ignore red flags. Then you are able to listen to the advice and the opinions of other people, even if they are relatively young, like they're in their 20s or even 30s, because there is some 50-odd-year-old person who's looking at Abba and Preach and thinking, who these young cats think they know shit? You know what I'm saying? There's some 60-year-old man right now who look at these guys and be like, these dudes, they don't know shit. This one don't even got kids. He ain't even married. What are you giving his opinion for? And so we could play that game all day long.
Her speaks so confidently and so arrogantly about how you're supposed to do things and how things are supposed to be, and I have the answers, and that's why with certainty I get the outcomes that I want. It's like, okay, you keep speaking arrogantly about life, but life gonna humble you. Now you got cheated on, and you pregnant.
I told this woman that I loved her within 36 hours of knowing her.
And you look fucking stupid. Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you this. She gets just a little tad of humility. When she reaches 32 or 35, she's gonna be a great life coach. She's gonna be like, whoo, girls, I fucked up.
This is how much I believe.
I respect that take right there. I respect that take right there. You know what I'm saying?
In this video, I'm about to change your life, so keep watching.
And this would not to do of what I did.
Chill, you 24, my girl. And I can tell you're not okay with
Oh,
your-
she's 24? I thought they said she was 26.
Ordinarily, she's just a 26-year-old who made a really dumb fucking decision.
No, she's 25.
Yourself because you've injected yourself already a good 30 times and you've done a bunch of cuts to your face. I think it's crazy that somebody could be a life coach and tell you how to do self-esteem and have this much plastic surgery. Maybe that's an unpopular take. That's my hot one today. I don't get that. I don't understand how anyone could look at someone like that who lives in that much designer brands and think this is the person I need to take life advice from in regards to how to be okay with myself.
But it looks like it's working.
I mean, I don't see a problem with designer bags or... What is the goal of a life coach? The goal of a life coach should be to teach you how to get what you want. Again, it's a little hypocritical from Abba and Preach, because Abba especially, I think one of the big things he preaches is that you shouldn't allow other people to tell you how to live, right? Abba, I'm sure there are all kinds of people, I'm sure even people in his family who would say, nigga, you're pushing 40, my guy. Where the wife and kids at? And Abba would probably say, fuck you. All right, I live my life the way I want to live it. I prioritize the things that make sense and appeal to me. And I think that's how everybody should live, so long as they're not hurting anybody else. And so you're not hurting anybody else when you buy designer clothes, and don't fucking pull the, oh, well, slave labor, child labor. Nigga, if you got a smartphone, a computer, jewelry, you're using child labor and not slave labor and all that shit too, nigga. So get off your fucking high horse. You know what I'm saying? And so no, you're not hurting anybody when you buy designer clothes, or especially if you get plastic surgery, that's just for you. No differently than you're not hurting anybody else by choosing not to get married or not to have kids by a certain age. And so the real thing is, though, are you getting what you want? Now, I agree that if what you want is peace and happiness, and someone is telling you the way to that is designer bags and plastic surgery and shit like that, then yeah, that's fucked up. That's bullshit. But if that is just something, you have your one life, you have your one body, you want to dress it a certain way, you want to do things a certain... So what now? A nigga with a hair transplant, he can't... Where does it stop, right? So makeup is okay. Filters are okay. Hair transplants are okay. You know what I'm saying? Dyeing your beard is okay. But fucking getting a nose job or lip filler or shit like that, that's now gone too far. It's all subjective. It's all subjective, man.
It looked like it's working. You know what I mean? The reason why I decided not to do that and not to... It's because I don't know shit. I know some stuff. I know the stuff that works for me, but I'm not you. Like, we've come from different places. I don't know. I could give you general advices on some shit that I lived, but that doesn't mean that that's the right way of doing stuff. Did I end up doing, like, okay, I ended up somewhere. Was it the right way? It's a bit like whenever you're doing math and then your teacher is like, yeah, just don't just write the answer. Tell me how you got there. And you still got the answer, the good answer, but the way that you went to that is completely off. So it worked for me, but it's not the right way to do stuff.
Absolutely.
And
I would agree with that. I would say that regardless of whoever you are, whenever you give advice, it is good to put that caveat that, hey, man, this is what works for me, though. If it doesn't work for you, don't follow it. I say that all the time on my spiritual channel. See, I couldn't say that as a Christian because the religion of Christianity teaches that if you don't believe what I believe, you're going to burn in hell for infinity. You're going to be tortured endlessly by a very angry God. And so you're actually, from the perspective of a fundamentalist religious person, whether you're a Christian, a Muslim, or whatever, is, hey, man, you got to either get with this program or you're going to be tortured indefinitely. So you really don't have a choice. But on my spiritual channel, I say, hey, man, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. And that's great. Unsubscribe. Don't follow. Find what works for you. You feel me? And so if this wizard Liz is speaking, because even in the Bible it says anyone who thinks they know anything does not yet understand it as they ought to. Right? And so yeah, that I agree with what Preach is saying.
If you try it and you tried my method, you're probably going to end up fucking up.
That's what I take away from this. Me, when I see her, I think it's a facade. I think it's when someone pretends to be, this is like a fake it till you make it. Which, listen, for a lot of things, maybe fake it till you make it is good. But is it good for creating a family? Probably not. I don't think bringing kids into a fake it till you make it mantra is probably responsible. Is the plastic surgery thing I say crazy?
What?
That somebody who does that much plastic surgery should never be in the business of being a life coach?
Absolutely. I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. I have a hard time. I cringe a bit, okay, whenever I scroll and I see a life coach that is all done up and says the phrase, believe in yourself. And I'm like, I can't take that seriously. I can't. Oh my God, love yourself in your body. And I'm like, I can't take that seriously. The same way I can understand and what I'm going to say is probably going to be hurting some people, but it is what it is. I could see how I can sleep with a girl that is done up, but I cannot have a baby with her. My kid gonna come back home and be like, I'm bullied. They don't like me, and they don't like me. I want to change my whole fit, and I'm gonna look at you. I'm gonna be, no, you're beautiful. You're gonna say to your kid, you're beautiful. Be honest. You don't like yourself. You're gonna sit here watching your kid and be like, oh, he's being bullied. He doesn't love. That kid thinks he doesn't look good. You look good. You know what? You look good. You're beautiful. You don't even believe you're beautiful.
Now, here's where I kind of disagree with what they're saying right here. I agree that true spirituality is getting to the place where you're good with it and you're good without it. That's actually one of the first principles of manifestation, is that you cannot materialize anything into your physical world until you are good with it and good without it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that people doing things to their bodies is that significant. Jesus says the flesh profits nothing, right? The body this is just your avatar. It's your vessel. Do whatever you want with it. What matters is the spirit. What matters is the person you are on the inside, because the opposite is true as well. You have a lot of dudes who call themselves spiritual, a lot of women who call themselves spiritual, and they try to make that visible on the outside by wearing garbage clothes, living in poverty, never groom their hair, would never fix their teeth, would never wear jewelry. And for some reason, that is supposed to make them more holy and pious. But those be the same people you find out they're scamming this person, they're sexually abusing that person, they're cheating on their wife. And so this is why the external doesn't matter one way or another. What matters is the spirit. What matters is the teaching.
You don't even believe you're beautiful.
And I got my G
and then you, like, that kid's gonna look at mom being like, I don't look nothing like you, B.
Crazy.
Oh, I could see how I could look like dad. You, I don't know no more. I don't have those lips. Dad don't have those lips. What the fuck is this? I gotta accept this. You didn't accept none of that. It's just, I think it's more difficult to raise a kid like that. Raising a kid whenever you gotta.
Yeah, but you could apply the same shit to makeup. I'm sure these guys don't have a problem with a grown woman wearing makeup, but you wouldn't let your 4-year-old wear makeup. And then when the 4-year-old asks mommy, why do you wear makeup, mommy? Oh, because it makes mommy feel pretty. Oh, but I want to feel pretty too. But you're not old enough to wear makeup. It's the same thing. A child doesn't discover whether or not they're confident or not when they go to school. At least that's not where it should happen. You should be filling your child up with such a high degree of self-worth and confidence from the moment they're born that by the time they're 8, or, you know, whenever kids start to bully each other about their looks and shit like that, because you don't really got 4-year-olds running around saying you're so ugly or whatever. I mean, I guess it's possible. I don't remember that being a thing when I was around that age. I feel like that kind of teasing doesn't really start till maybe like the 3rd grade-ish. And so by that point, your child should have such a high degree of self-worth and confidence that fuck whatever anybody else saying at school.
Bunch of shit done up is going to be worth it.
It's just how my brain works.
Yeah,
like
like,
I
very honestly, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not what you should say right now. Like, that's not.
Yeah, it's not like Asperger's clinically, but I'm super logical. So if I'm thinking about something, and you ask me a question, I'm gonna give you the real answer.
Yeah.
It's helpful sometimes. You can ask me anything.
This was filmed 3 days before he allegedly cheated. Crazy. That's nasty work.
No, it's not.
I'm always gonna be honest.
No,
you can
no,
ask me anything.
no, it's not nasty work.
Oh, no?
No.
I don't
What
know.
did he say?
He said you could ask me anything. I'll tell you the
Did
truth.
she ask?
Nigga.
She didn't ask.
Okay. So for you as an
a good
Aries,
point.
unless the Gemini asks,
It's not for me. It's for him.
Okay.
I'm going according to what he says. She didn't ask.
I'm gonna open some of the screenshots from where he cheated. So essentially, what this guy apparently did, dumb fuck, he started DMing a girl on Snapchat who was apparently fans of Liz.
That's hilarious.
So here's a conversation. He goes, "Are you in Dallas?" She's like, "Yeah, why?" I was just wondering who all I know is still here. I just got back from London in NYC Tuesday, then back in Dallas for a week. Do you have plans? And she says, "Aren't you married?" He says, "No, plus just looking for friends." And then she goes, "Since when aren't you married?" He's technically engaged, but you know.
So he was not lying.
Let's keep listening. Yeah, well, it's complicated long distance internet thing, but I'm not married. Not a normal life for sure. So your whole relationship is fake? No, it's not, but I'm not married. That part is not real. What does that even mean? Yeah, haha, do you want to see me? I can tell you in person. I don't want to hang out with married men, and I saw you wearing a wedding ring. Well, that's not fair, but no, not married. And then she screenshots him with the ring, I guess. Oh God, that's worn for the video, but never mind, it's complicated. Explain. No, haha, never mind. I told you it's complicated. Not legally married, maybe will be. Oof. If you're engaged to somebody who's saying maybe will be to random women. He's a piece
Maybe will be when you know that you got that bitch pregnant is insane too. Sheesh.
shit for what he did. Let's not even absolve him. There's no reason for him to cheat at this dynamic, especially getting a woman pregnant. You're a dumbass. All right, let us know what y'all think in the comments.
Unclench your jaw.
All right. Well, shit, man. That's the situation with WizardLiz and me taking a look at Abba and Preach's take on this shit. I agreed with them on some points. I disagreed with them on some points. You feel me? And ultimately, you only have one life to live. And so go the path that makes the most sense to you. Go the path that gets you the most results. That's what I do. You feel me? I try shit out, and if I feel like shit ain't working, then I'ma fucking drop that shit, nigga, and go with something that works better. That's life in general. It's evolution. It's building upon the experiences that you have and the things that you've learned. And a wise person only lets go of one thing in place of another thing if that other thing is better, is more effective. And so that's what I've done. And where I'm at in life right now, I feel as if I have the most effective approach to life that I've ever had thus far. I'm getting the best results all across the board. I'm seeing amazing success with this YouTube channel. I'm sure many of you have noticed that we went from averaging like 6,000 views a few weeks ago. Now we're averaging over 20,000 views. My marriage has never been better. My health has never been better. You know, my skin has never been clearer. Life is great. Does that mean that the way I see the world now will ultimately be the way I see it when I'm 60? No, but I promise you this, I'm not going to abandon my approach to life now that I have now, unless it's for something that is even more effective and even better. And that's what I think how people should move through life. But that's my take on it. Thank y'all for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Peace out.